we just have a laugh.
Hello, testing. We're checking the audio now. Is everybody able to hear? I'm just going to let more people in. Hello, testing. Are you able to hear wedding? L? Yes? Okay, good. Thank you.
Are they able to hear?
Yeah, he gave me a thumbs up. So everyone can hear?
Yeah, let the people in first.
Yeah, just meeting them. Okay, there are more people coming in, so give us a minute. Okay, we'll play the video in the meantime. Just how long you need?
Hello everyone. Anyone have donated already? Donate. Starting soon, okay? Hi Robert, finally I see you. Hello everyone. Let me just see. I think Sam is online already, right? I think I will unmute him first, because I think you guys cannot unmute yourself. So let me see. Hi Sam, you are unmuted. Maybe can you say hello to everyone?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Did he say anything?
Yes, I said something. You can hear, right? Wedding, can you hear me, right?
Yeah, but I can't hear him. Hold on a second. Can you say something? I must ensure that I can hear him.
Yes, I'm talking. Can you hear me? I think everyone else can hear me except for you.
Okay, never mind. Maybe while I just keep the event going. Let me see. Okay, just now during 6 to 7 while playing the trailer, I'm also adding some slides. Sorry, there's some delay, and of course, I think some of you have heard of me talking to my wife. There are some last minute book. We need to congest all the questions so that it can be factored into the whole event. Okay, so. No, I don't have. No, but the thing is, I project the voice here. Okay, so okay, let me just say for what inspired us to maybe just do a self introduction first, and as well introduction of all the people that are involved. Okay. So basically, Bank Share, of course, during this very difficult time, we are very blessed and we are very blessed that let me see, there's still people coming in. Hold on a second. While I want to improve the audio, I will switch to my own headphone. Okay, hold on a second. I'll stop sharing. Okay, I will switch my to my earphone. Hello, Sam. Maybe can you say something? See whether I can hear you.
Hello, are you here? Can you hear me?
Okay, hear you. Hold on a second.
Can you hear me?
Hold on a second. Sam, can you say something?
Hello, can you hear me? Iris can hear me.
No, I cannot hear any of you, Iris. Okay, Iris, can you say something?
I am not muting myself.
Sorry, You can hear you very well. I cannot hear it all, no?
Can you hear Iris when she
Hello,
spoke through
hello?
the system?
I don't think it's headphone problem. Sorry, sorry, Iris, can you take your notebook here? You are hearing from the notebook, right? Just put your notebook here and let me hear from that notebook. Okay. Okay, hold on a second. Let me just do a last try. Okay. Same system. Okay. Can someone say something?
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, I can hear you already. I can hear you. Okay, sorry, there was some adjusting around. Okay, let me just go back to the slide first. Let me just do a proper introduction. Okay, so just for the record, this whole thing is hold on. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Sorry. Okay, everyone. Thanks for everyone for your patience. Sorry about the hiccup. Okay, so basically, let me just share with you how this thing got started. Okay, long story short, let me just mute everything because I start to ship when it works. I start to hear everything. Okay, hold on a second. I start to hear everything. Okay, sorry. Sorry. Hold on. How do I? Iris, are you aware of there's one button I can? Oh, there are still people coming in. Sorry. 3 more. Okay. Mute all. Yes. Okay. Thanks very much for waiting. Okay, basically how I started on this program is, okay, of course at first there's this COVID-19 crisis. It started about January. And of course, fortunately, and we are very blessed to be able to shift our operation very much to hospital. So very much that our revenue is not really affected. In fact, our revenue is still on the increase because we moved to the hospital. So the thing is like this, and then of course when I heard that the government is giving out some money for us, very honestly, our revenue is not affected. Our revenue is on the rise. The extra money that was given by the government was very generous, and I was thinking for it to be of good use, might as well I try to do something I have not done for the last 10, 15 years in my career. So I try my hand at doing some charity, and I want to make sure that that when I'm doing okay, I want someone to benefit from me. As my mom used to always tell me when I was young, it's more blessed. We are more blessed to be able to give than to receive. Okay, so to be able to give is actually means that we are more blessed. Okay, so for today's guest, I mean this talk is totally free. I mean, of course, if you engage Mr. Sam Seow after this, it's not free lah. Okay, that just want so that you understand. Okay, so of course, if you're engaged Mr. Sam Seow after this, by all means, just talk to him and talk about your fees and all these things. Don't worry about me. I got no commission one. So I just doing this really just to try to do something different, what I'm used to do. Okay, rather than just doing business, I want to do some charity. Okay, so at the moment, because the last 10 years that I never do a lot of charity is personally because I am not happy about some of the way in which charity are run. Okay, it's just that I don't feel that they're efficient at using the money. But of course, I feel that during the time of COVID-19 circuit breaker, it is sort of a national disaster. It's not a time for me to discuss whether any non-profit is doing it efficiently or not efficiently. I think the more important thing is to step forward, and along with many of the speakers I'm going to invite, Mr. Sam Seow being one of them, they are stepping forward so that we are doing something what we can to donate to the food bank. Okay, so the food bank. Okay, let me just go to the next slide, which is introducing the food bank. Oh, by the way, this is the QR code of food bank. Okay, scan it and donate money. Okay, so the any amount is fine. $1 is fine. $50 is fine. Okay, I was, for what I remember, anything more than $50, you will get to enjoy some double tax deduction or something. But okay, exactly the details, please talk with food bank. Don't talk with me because I don't work there, so I won't know what is required. Okay, but long story short, donate first. I mean, of course, some of you may have gotten some $600 from the government. Some of you gotten some money from the government if you feel they don't need. I mean, of course, there are people who actually return the money to the government. Of course, that is fine as well. Okay, when you return the money to the government can redeploy the money somewhere else for the purpose of national purposes. But having said that, also Mr. Heng also encouraged us. Actually, the money, if you don't need it, you don't have to return it. Also, you can donate to charity. Okay. Okay, so like I say, the individual usually will get 600. I mean, depending on how you declare your income level, it can be more than that, but I just get $600 a year. But what I got from company, of course, is much more. Of course, as you read over the news yesterday, you know that there are about 32 companies actually return the money. Okay, they returned about 30-something million, I think, if I remember right. Unfortunately, the government give me the money. It's not 35 million. If not, also return. It's not even. Never mind the amount. The amount is beside the point. Let's do something good together. Okay. So the thing is that, of course, again, Mr. Heng yesterday was saying that, I mean, of course, company can choose to return the money if they want to, if they don't need it, or if they are not in a serious emergency. But having said that, he also said that the company can also redeploy the money for charity purposes, which is what we are doing now. Okay. So, as a businessman, my gift is marketing. So I feel that I can donate whatever government give me. That's for sure. Okay, but I can market to more people, connect to more people, so that more people can give together. Okay. So at the same time, let me just go on to the next slide, which talk about the food bank. Okay, as you know, some of you come in, you see this trailer going on. I just happened to see the video online. There, I just replay. Okay. Okay. So food bank. Okay, let me just do an introduction. Okay. So basically, last two weeks when I talked to them, I was asking them one very simple question. Okay, they told me that at this present moment, they are delivering food to generally people who are less fortunate. So basically people who are at home, like a one-room flat, you know, they may be older in age and then they are retired. They may or may not have kids, or you know, they have problem being supported, you know. So basically the food bank actually step up, you know, to bring the food to these people. Okay, so oh, by the way, in case there's QR code there also. The QR code is sprinkled everywhere, so just scan and donate, okay, as quickly as possible. And okay, so as food bank, then of course I ask food bank one question because I'm a very numbers person. I ask them, okay, so why not make it simple for me, okay? How many meals do you need to deliver per day, okay? So what they told me is, 10,000 meals, okay? 10,000 meals, okay? Each meal is budget about $5, okay? So 10,000 meals, each meal is $5. What does it mean? Every day they need $50,000, okay? So I'm not asking any of you individuals to donate 50,000, okay? Never mind. Together we are stronger. So you donate what you can, and you know, so that you know they can continue doing the job of bringing. Also at the same time, food bank also helps one thing, as they get the food from the hawker, all this thing, they also ensure that the hawker will still survive. Okay, as you know that the hawkers are sort of Singapore's. Good. Thanks, Dolu. Thanks for providing that link. Providing the link. So let me see. So as you know, okay, as you know, hawker food is part of our social heritage. I mean, other than feeding the poor and less able and less fortunate in the country, they're also ensuring that our country, the social heritage gets preserved. Okay, that's the important thing. Okay, so by donating, you're creating a difference to us. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing the messages. Robert, it doesn't have to be PayLah, it can be PayNow. Okay, I think the QR code actually has some the acceptable payment option there. Okay, so you can just choose the one applicable to you and you just donate. Okay, okay. Okay, too many things to control. Hold on a second. Let me just ensure the story is not left out. The story is important. Okay, hold on a second. I am trying to make another person host. Okay, never mind. I don't think we can have two hosts, right? Actually, anyway, I'm not really sure about Zoom, so I rather don't mess up everything. Okay, there's one more coming in. Okay, so basically, long story short, food banks deliver 10,000 food packets to basically the amount of families are. So every day they need $50,000. Okay, long story short. Okay, by all means donate according to what you're able to, and we just move ahead. So basically, food bank. Okay. So let me just introduce today the speaker. Okay. Sam, sorry, because I'm rushing the slide. I never put the handsome photo here. Okay, let me just do something. Okay, of course, I have something official that I can read from, but I know Sam for quite a long time. First time I get to know him is through my wife. My wife is a musician, is an artist. So I mean, of course, if you are an artist and musician in Singapore, you got to know who is Sam. Okay, okay. Practically everyone that I know who is a musician, okay, either they are his client or even if they are not his client, they know who he is. Okay, so basically, long story short, is that Sam is someone you must know that provides immense value to the art circle in Singapore. Okay, that's how I got to know him. Okay, so of course, as I got to know him, we often engage in some discussion, and I find that he's a highly intellectual person. I mean, he's not just intelligent in law. He's just intelligent in a lot of things. So there are few things sometimes some ideas I will run through him, and then I see what he say and things like that. Okay, so basically, of course, we ourselves are doing our trademark. We are actually asking Sam to help. Okay, Sam is really an expert in this area. Okay. And of course, Asia Pacific Legal 500 has ranked Samuel as one of the significant individuals in the fields of intellectual property and media law. Okay, so in 2010, he has also received the Spirit Enterprise Award. Okay, and let me see the next slide. Okay, a disclaimer. Okay, again, you see the QR code is there. Okay, actually, I'm still experimenting this way of raising money. Okay, I believe the kind of thing we are doing, okay, it may not be new in the world, but probably China is doing something similar because they have QR code payment system. So in Singapore, I believe we are among the first to do this kind of thing as we present Facebook Live and of course on Zoom. There is a QR code present there. I mean, as long as you feel happy and then you scan and then you donate. Okay, it's very much similar. Last time this kind of model, I also inspired last time by NKF charity show and a lot of charity show. They show TV show and then they sing song. Of course, I can't sing song. Okay, Iris can sing song. Maybe there's another section this her singing song. So as a result of sing song, and then of course you see the slide and then you see the QR code. If you feel that we have done a good job talking to you, sharing our knowledge, you can just scan on the code and just make a payment. You can make any amount of payment. It's fine. Okay. So first thing first, the disclaimer first. Okay. Law is highly contextualized, okay? As I go through my business, and then of course, sometimes when you business, unfortunately you have to deal with the law actually, after a while you feel that when you deal with the law, it's so fortunate because after you finally deal with the law, at first you may feel that it's a bit leceh, but you find that dealing with the law and having a good contract protects your interest. You also protect the interest of your client, so it's collective interest, okay? But having said that, law is highly contextualized, okay? So whatever discussed here is just for discussion purpose, okay? It's just discussed for discussion purpose. It shall not replace a formal legal consulting process. So like what I was saying, if you feel that beyond the Q&A today, you feel that you want to have a formal process, please really engage Mr. Sam for it. Okay, and I don't get any commission, but he's my lawyer, so I am very confident of his competence level. Okay, very, very confident. Okay. Okay. So by all means, today is for discussion, because sometimes when you ask questions, you may leave out some pertinent details, which is very important. But in this normal public Q&A, it won't surface one. So you need a formal process to really bring out all the details necessary in your case. Okay. So you must understand this one, disclaimer, this one is just for legal, it's just for discussion purpose. Okay. If you want to go towards a legal conclusion or action, please still engage your lawyer. Okay. Okay. So okay, before I go on to the question, maybe I will unmute Sam. Maybe he will say hi to everyone, and maybe he would like to say something before I go on to the Q&A. Okay, hold on a second. Let me just unmute him. Hi, Sam.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Can you see me? I can only see the slide. Oh, okay, yes.
Okay, hold on. I can. Okay, when I stop the sharing, of course I see your face. Okay. Then of course when we go back to the question, we can launch a slide. Most importantly, because the slide have a QR code, so they can donate. Okay. So do you have anything to share, or we just go straight to the Q&A already?
I've read a bit of the questions that have come in. I think today, if we want to be more productive, I suppose the answering of the questions should be key. So if you could maybe throw some of the questions to me, then I'll try to answer them.
Okay. Okay. Let me just load the questions. Okay. Okay. So I'm using 2 or 3 computers, so I may move to a C and to read because this question is very long. I want the audience to totally focus. Okay, the way I summarize this one is basically delayed delivery of services. Okay, as to I put the page here is so that I can read the notes from another machine. So forgive me. Let me just move over to another machine for 1 second. So Sam, let me read to you the questions. Hold on a second. Page 16. Okay. Okay, this question is by a Mr. Lim Xiong Boon. Hold on a second. There are 3 more people coming in. Okay, by this specific Mr. Lim Xiong Boon. Okay, so I read the main part of this question. Okay, long story short, he has a customer who placed an order for a rental of payment system last year. So there was some delay from the bank as the customer has a bit of issue. I can only deliver when everything is ready. Okay, the order can be ready on 28th June. Okay, I think the dates are not so important. Let me just focus on the main point. Okay, long story short, what he's saying that the customer that he's serving delayed the installation date. Okay, and he agrees to it, but on the date where he's supposed to install, the Tiong Bahru Plaza suddenly has a coronavirus case. Okay, so as a result, he sent me a message and said that he's aware that the place where he's at, the retail store he's at, he is aware that there is a COVID case, and of course, long story short, I think the customer did not respond. Did not respond to him. So what his point? Okay, that means long story short, I feel that what he's saying that the delivery of his contract, the fulfillment of his contract, I think is affected by the onset of a COVID-19 case in Tiong Bahru Plaza on the 30th of January. So since then, the customer has not replied to him. What is it that he can do at this moment?
Okay, I think just as a preliminary, I just need to clarify that not all contracts can be breached at this point of time. So it's not all contracts which, okay, if you cannot perform the contract or your counterparty, the other side, cannot perform their part of the contract, it doesn't mean necessarily that because of COVID, therefore you cannot take any action against them. I think we need to remember a few things. First is, if for you to be able to fall under the category of relief, that means you don't have to strictly comply with the contractual obligations. For that to happen, the contract must be signed on or after 25th of March. So anything that was signed before is actually not something that you can put under relief. Sorry. Anything that's signed after is not something that you can claim relief. Anything that comes before 25th of March, you can claim relief. And the payment obligations must have started from 1st February 2020 onwards. That means the payment obligations, the obligation to pay on the side of the other party, must start from the 1st of February 2020. Okay, so that are 2 things. And not all sorts of contracts are subject to relief. There are only 7 categories of contracts which are subject to relief. So the 7 categories are, broadly speaking, loans and leases and construction and a lot of these kind of events and tourism related kinds of issues. So when we are talking about this payment system that Mr. Boone was talking about, when he entered into I don't know whether he has entered into a contract with his client, but if he has entered into a contract with his client, then the terms of the contract are very important, because when was the contract entered into? From the dates that we're talking about, it appears that the contract was signed sometime last year, if there was a contract. It was last year. If it was last year, then if the payment obligations are from 1st February, then we could fall within the category, but it doesn't seem as if his type of contract falls within the 7 types of contracts that I was talking about. So if it doesn't fall within the 7 types of contracts that I was talking about, then there is no necessary relief. That means he can still be able to take action against the other party for going against the contract. But what needs to be remembered in this case is there must be some kind of contract in place, because it doesn't seem very clear whether there was an agreement that the client must pay by a particular date. If Mr. Boone can maybe give me some more information now,
Okay.
I think I can.
Actually, Sean Boone is online now. I can actually unmute him. So I want just to confirm. Sean Boone, are you able to unmute yourself? Well, I can't possibly.
Yeah. Hi, Sam.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. So the thing is, the installation is around February time. So they already agreed to this installation beforehand, and
Okay, what does agreed mean?
yeah. True.
Was there a quotation that was signed?
Yeah. The sign is actually the action for me to go ahead to purchase all the necessary thing.
Right.
Then before deploy, because I also need to rent from my vendor the machines. So I need them to tell me exactly what date they want to install so that I can activate the rental. So
within the quotation, it actually states quite clearly when the installation was supposed to be?
Not in the contract, no. But then before, I think in January, I already told them that roughly 28th of January, everything will be ready. So when do they want to install? And they told me that date. So on that day, I think when that day came, they actually delayed for a few days. So I agreed to the delay. But when the delay occurred, actually the renter is already activated already. So, and then when the day came for the second attempt to install, they didn't reply at all. So they disappeared for quite some time. Actually, I keep messaging, but they disappeared for quite some time. But they managed to get back to me, and they did tell me that they have some cash flow issue due to this COVID. So I can't do I don't know how to deal with this also. So it has been dragging since February to now. So for my side, I have to absorb the loss for the rental also because I already activated. So
okay.
Yeah.
It seems very clear to me that actually in this agreement, okay, there are a few terms that go into this agreement, right? That you will install something by a particular time. But the weakness of your agreement is that it doesn't make quite clear what that particular time is, correct?
Yeah, but it is all recorded in our WhatsApp conversation.
That you would install by 28th of January.
They wanted to install at a certain date, and it is like, okay, both sides agree already. So, and it's not only, these are actually a group chat. So actually some of his partners and staff are also inside the chat.
Okay, then, okay, can I ask you a question, Song Boon?
Yeah.
Do you know whether in Singapore a non-written contract is valid and enforceable?
I'm not sure.
Well, the good news is it is. So even though your quotation is not very, very detailed, so it doesn't include a lot of the terms, but it seems that the quotation that you have, together with the WhatsApp conversations that you have determined how much it is that they were supposed to pay you, when the installation is supposed to be,
yes,
and when the payment is supposed to be after installation, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, if you have those three terms and the parties are quite clear, it appears that you can actually take action against them now, and you can seek compensation for the losses that you have suffered now as a result of your rental and all these other expectation losses that you have suffered as a result of you relying upon him complying with his part of the bargain. Yes, I think COVID has caused a lot of difficulties for a lot of people, which have led to cash flow kinds of problems for people. But not every contract is something that they don't pay for. But of course, I suppose the first step that you can take is try to negotiate with them to see whether this is something that you can try to settle amicably with them. But if you cannot, then this is not one of the contracts which they can seek relief for, which means you can actually still commence action if you want to.
Sean Boon, is the answer okay?
Sounds like it's disappeared.
Well, he's still online, but I think it's time to move on to the next question. Okay? So there are about maybe 7 to 8 questions. I think some of them are about 90% of the questions are very much property related. Okay? Only this one is not so related.
Thank you, Sean Boon.
Okay. The next one is interesting. A bit of the 6-month relief and then also the real estate related. Let me just load up. I don't know whether she's online, but Xin Yi, are you online? Doesn't seem to be. But never mind. Let me just ask for her. Let me see. Okay. So the next question is, okay, I cannot focus. Okay, I cannot emphasize any further. The QR code is here. Donate as per you can. Okay, okay, and maybe next time I should have a condition. Donate, then you can ask questions. but anyway, just joking out. No, you can ask questions. Okay, never mind. Okay, so the question is asked by this lady by the name of Xin Yi. Actually, I know her myself. Hi, does the 6-month rent deferment apply for co-working space? Will co-working tenants be entitled to the property tax rebate?
Okay, so there are 2 questions here. One is about a 6-month rent deferment. Is this lady online now?
Xin Yi, let me just take a look, just confirm. Okay, I tell you what, rather than me looking through everything, I will just unmute all, just for 5 seconds. If you're online, just say you're online. Okay, are you online?
Nothing traceable,
Not easy.
I'm going to mute everyone. What? I think a lot of people got private discussion. Okay, I don't think she's online, so I guess we just have to answer as it is, as how we interpret the question to be. Okay, so I think I must unmute Sam. Sorry. Just so I just unmute everyone. Okay, hold on.
Okay, so the question about a 6-month deferment, I'm not very clear what that 6-month deferment means, because I don't think there is a 6-month deferment.
Okay, let me just hazard a guess as to what she may have meant. I guess she may have the impression there is, there's some, the relief does say that you can sort of delay the fulfillment of a contract by 6 months. I believe she probably combined these 2 things and she's trying to infer that the rental agreement is one of those agreements that you could sort of delay by 6 months. This is my guess.
Yeah, I was thinking so much also, but there is no 6-month deferment. It is a misunderstanding of what the law says. So the law came up with the COVID-19 Temporary Measures Act. So under this act, what happens is, if you are a lease or a license, you actually have the right, if you cannot pay the lease or the license, and your non-payment is because of COVID-19. If you can prove that COVID-19 has caused you to be unable to pay your lease or your license, then you can apply for a notification for relief. When you apply for a notification of relief and you send it over to your landlord, then your landlord can do one of two things. One is he can say, okay, fine, since you are asking for relief, then I can give you relief. That means I can negotiate with you on how we can do this better together because we are all in some trouble together. But if that is not what he thinks, and he doesn't think, for example, if you are in a job which is an essential job and all your employees are continuing to work and you still seem to be doing quite well. So for example, if you were selling masks, then in this kind of case, when you're still doing well and you are still applying for notification for relief, what your landlord can do is the landlord can go to the ministry and ask for assessors to assess whether this is a real claim for notification for relief or not, or whether it's legitimate or not. Because if this was just a sham case and it's not something that is really that he's suffering so much, then in this kind of cases, the assessors can say, no, you still have to pay your rent. So there is no automatic 6-month deferment. If you fall within those particular categories of scheduled contracts we were talking about, then you actually have to apply for notification of relief before you can get relief. And that relief is only a suspension of your obligations that you still have to pay after the prescribed period. So after the period is over of 6 months for now, you have to immediately pay all these monies, And all these monies, if you haven't paid it, there could still be interest which is levied for late payment. That can be something that can be done. For landlords, I suppose you can self-help by telling your tenants that, okay, I'm going to start deducting from security deposit, but after the prescribed period, then I need you to make up the security deposit sums and slowly pay up all the monies that you owe over and above that. And then her next question is whether co-working spaces can and be entitled to some kind of property tax rebate. Okay, property tax rebates are given to landlords of commercial properties for this year because of COVID-19. So because of COVID-19, actually all landlords are supposed to get a property tax rebate. The property tax rebate, depending on your annual value of your property, would be given. So in that case, usually if you were an owner of a property which is selling restaurant F&B, then it will be 100% rebate. That means then the annual property, 1 month or 1 month more of the rental that you are enjoying now will be taken away because the property tax rebate will be given to the landlord. Then in this case, under the new act, right, the landlords are supposed to pass all, not some, all of their savings over to the tenants. So the tenants will then enjoy that 1 month or 2 months of rent-free period. So that is what must happen under the law. But in the case of co-working spaces, it's a stranger kind of arrangement. Because what happens is the co-working space will be, for example, WeWork, will have taken a rental from Suntec, for example. So Suntec is the landlord, which is the owner of the property. And then the owner of the property will get a tax rebate that they will then transfer to WeWork. But WeWork, under the Act, doesn't have a corresponding obligation to pass the rebates over to its licensees. Because WeWork doesn't give out rentals, right? It gives out licenses. So when it gives out licenses to different people to work in co-working spaces, these co-working spaces people don't necessarily have the right to also demand for any rebate to be passed over to them because they are not dealing directly with the owner. They are dealing with a landlord who is like a tenant himself. So in this kind of case, it is arguable how much they can get as a rebate for co-working spaces.
Okay. So, okay. Actually, for me, I personally have, as I say in the group, I also have one more question because, as you know, I'm also an SME and also dealing with rental issue. Of course, our revenue is not really affected, but I suppose this rebate of property tax is not depending on whether I need it or don't need it. Is that I will sort of have to get it. That's how I understand it. Okay. So the thing is now is like this. Actually, we are also at this point of time where we are renewing our lease. That means Actually, it's just so happened that we are renewing our 2 years rental is up, and as of this month or next month, we have to sign on a new lease. So I was afraid. You know, just now when you were saying the thing about relief, the thing is that I signed to this contract, although it's a continuation of old contract, but in more before intent and purpose, this in the eyes of the law is a new contract, and I signed it during this time. So if I sign to this time, will I still be enjoying all the rebate of the property tax?
No, because you are not the owner, so there's no rebate that is due to you, right?
But I rent from the landlord. You see, the landlord is supposed to.
Yeah. So the landlord is supposed to pass over the rebates to you. Correct. So when does your tenancy end?
I think it's really about April or May. Irish, is April or May, right? April. Actually, it just ended a few days back. We are on the verge of signing a new contract. So of course, they say that the property tax rebate is to be given on June. So my fear is that if that is the case, then they will argue that since I sign on now, I know for a fact I am not affected by COVID-19.
Okay, 2 pointers. One is the tax rebate is due to you, or the benefits of the tax rebate are due to you whether or not you're affected by COVID-19. That's as of right? So they must pass it over to you. But in your case, because yours is not F&B or one of those like 100% kinds of rebates, right? Yours is only about 30% if you use it as an office. So that 30% of money off should be granted to you whether you just signed up or not.
Okay, I see. And let me see my question.
I think Wedding by LQ has been asking a question for a long time.
LQ. I believe they probably want a question of it. But before that, I just want to understand, because I also have a friend who actually, I mean, he's a bit more creative, but I personally, I think intuitively, I don't think he will pass, okay? But I better ask a lawyer first, okay? What he's saying is that he intends to contest with his landlord, okay? His argument is that he is renting a space from his landlord for the purpose of business, okay? For the purpose of business. So now he said that just because he's being forced into the circuit breaker by the government, he's saying that as a result of that, there is a breach of contract from the landlord's point of view. So he's saying that on this basis, he doesn't want to pay the rent. Can that argument pass or not pass?
Okay, that's an argument that a lot of smart lawyers are also to say that the landlord is in breach, right? Because as the landlord, you are supposed to rent this space to me, and because you are incapable of renting this space to me, because the space has been rendered unusable, therefore you are in breach of the obligations, right? I think that's what a lot of tenants will now want to run as an argument. For you to be able to run that argument, I think it needs to be very clear within your tenancy agreement. And I tell you, a lot of tenancy agreements, a lot of people are using the very standard ones from PropNet or any of these big agencies. When you use the standard ones, it doesn't always appear that the landlord has an obligation to rent you the space. And if they have an obligation to rent you the space, it doesn't also state very clearly that in the case of a pandemic, you can suspend obligations. In fact, if we looked at the PropNet's tenancy agreement as an example, there's a clause that a lot of people always call the force majeure clause, right? The force majeure clause would be a clause that says that if the property is damaged by riot or fire or any of these things, right, that is uncontrollable, but then they say riot or fire and commotion, but they don't talk anything about pandemics. If they don't say anything about pandemics, then your force majeure clause doesn't apply. In the PropNet's example, what happens is if the space was unusable because it was damaged by fire or commotion or any within the list of these things, then if it's unusable or unreachable as a result of fire or commotion, you can suspend payment of rental for those particular periods of time. So that's very clearly stated within the tenancy agreement. But what is not so clear is whether pandemics actually fall within that particular clause. A lot of people would run that argument because they would say, but your clause seems to imply that every time anything happens which is beyond the control of the parties that causes the premises to be unusable or unreachable, you would have the ability to suspend payment, right? But the landlords will always argue, no, because my clause says very clearly, by fire or by commotion, it doesn't talk about pandemics. So next time, it makes us now a bit wiser. If you are a tenant and you think that SARS, COVID, any of these things might rear its ugly head again sometime in the future, God forbid. But if you really think that that should be the case, I think lawyers nowadays are going to be very, very vigilant about adding in pandemics or epidemics within the force majeure clauses of a contract to allow force majeure clauses to be richer and to be able to cope with this new world that we're now living in where these kinds of things have become a reality. So what I would put within a tenancy agreement would be that I'll say anything that's caused by fire, commotion, or pandemics, which leads to the space being unusable by the tenant or unreachable because of maybe laws that have been set up, then in that case, the payment should be suspended. Payment of rent should be suspended in these kinds of instances until it becomes usable again. I think it would be very wise for people to do that. Otherwise, for you to try to claim within the agreement that there was a breach of contract on the part of the landlord can always say, sorry, the space is always there for you to use. If you were essential service, you can always come in and use it, right? But you are not essential. So if you're not essential, then, but I still give you the space to use, because before the tightening of the circuit breaker, actually owners could go into the premises and use the premises even because they are an owner, even if they were not essential. So I don't think that many spaces can be rendered unusable because they are theoretically usable. They just cannot be accessed because of the circuit breaker provisions.
Yeah. I think the other term that people are using is a merchantable, as in they can use the real estate to earn money. That's their view. If I cannot use the real estate to earn money, then you breach a contract. That's their point of view now. So in your view, it won't pass. This one very hard to pass.
No. Yeah, because if you read the Act very carefully, the Act says very carefully that the Act, right, is secondary to force majeure. So if within your agreement, it's very clear what happens and what constitutes force majeure, then your agreement, because it's the voluntary agreement between the two parties, will be binding. Most agreements, unfortunately, don't have the pandemic clause. So then the other thing that people can try to use is frustrated contracts. They can try to say that my agreement with you has been frustrated because the character of the agreement is no longer what I had anticipated when I first entered into the contract with you. So for example, I had a client who signed a 6-month lease with a co-working space. And then the moment he signed, he's a bit sway. The moment he signed, then April, then the circuit breaker started. So if it was a 6-month license to use a co-working space, and essentially 2 months of it cannot be used, would that in that case be frustrated? Would that be a frustrated contract? I think that's very arguable. But if you were a 3-year lease, and then you had only 2 months of it actually not being usable because of the circuit breaker provisions, I don't think in that case you can argue frustration, because 2 months out of 36 months is really not so big a percentage as 2 months out of 6 months or a 3-month contract. But if it was frustrated, then you can immediately get out of the contract and ask for your money back.
Okay, sure.
So a lot of you should now be thinking about force majeure. Look at the force majeure clauses within your agreement, and then think about whether your contracts have been frustrated. And then only after these two, then you think about what the Act can do for you.
Okay, I shall go on to the next question. Sorry, I have to go to another computer again. Okay. Okay, this one is just short now, or maybe just maybe a one-line answer would do. He's basically asking whether they can ask for a relief for commercial rental. I think somehow just now what we have discussed is, long story short, no lah, I suppose. Hey, wait, how come there's no sound? Hello? Wait. The answer is yes, is it? Wait, but how come there's no sound? Wait, how come the sound is gone again? If you can. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, Sam, that's because you mute yourself. Hold on a second. Wait, Okay, Sam. Oh, I can hear Sam again. I think I sort of moved him back.
You muted me.
Sorry, I'm sorry about that. I think I will just mute all but allow people to unmute themselves. Okay, so let me see. But for the matter, I just unmute Sam first. Okay, so I can hear him. Okay, so basically, long story short, what he's asking is just whether can they ask for relief from commercial rental. Oh yeah, now that I remember, I think the answer that just now you were saying yes, right? It's just
yes,
at the end of the 6 months, he will have to pay up the balance even if he asks for relief. Okay. But of course, he said that the landlord refused and forced to pay. If not, they will lock up the space. Is this something they can do, or they can't do if after you have put up the notice of?
Yes. So you must go and ask for relief or forfeiture. So your this client, right? Because I did see the question. He must go and ask for notification for relief. So how he does that is that he goes to the website. There's a MinLaw website, the Ministry of Law website, and applies for notification for relief through the electronic system.
Okay.
So he can use the SingPass or his CopPass. If he's using a company, then he can use the CopPass. If not, use the SingPass to apply for notification for relief.
Okay.
And then when he gives notification to the other party, then again the other party has the right to either challenge it and bring it to a board of assessors, or in the meantime, give him the relief that he seeks.
Okay. So when you say to seek the resolution in the board of assessor, is it like a formal court process or something like that, or is it like
It is like small claims. That means lawyers are not allowed. So you all can go in and argue the case in front of the board of assessors.
Okay, I see. Okay, hold on. Let me go to the next question. I think this other question is sort of similar. What relief have been brought to building owners? I guess building owner is just another set, the same set of property owners, right? Whatever is given to property owners, they can get as well. Okay. And of course, they are supposed to pass to their tenant. Okay. Okay. Okay, there was a question on grants. Okay, but having said that, I have been doing grants for the last 18 years now, but I no longer do grants. Maybe let me just offer a short answer to it. Grants are for all intent and purpose. The main purpose is to subsidize already viable company. It's not for supporting. If you don't get a grant, you will go bust kind of company. So I have not been following up for grant for the last 1.5 years, but I believe what my understanding of grant is still applicable about. Okay, let me just go on to the next slide.
Okay, Adeline has asked the question. So can I just answer that one? Because she asked, she said, what happens if the notification for relief came in the form of an email rather than through the official system of the of the Ministry of Law. So the Ministry of Law says that if you want to ask for relief or grant, the first step that you need to take is to go through the electronic system. But if the electronic system, for some reason, you don't know how to use or you don't use it properly, you can send an email. But if for some reason you cannot send that email, then you can send it through the social media messenger system that you use to communicate with this person generally. So whatever that you've used previously as a means of communications with those people, you can still use. Only in the failure of these three electronic forms, then you can send the notification from relief or forfeiture as a prepaid post in hard copy.
Okay. Let me just go on to the next question.
Thanks, Adam.
Okay, so there is a question by Mr. Justin Lee. I shall assume that he's online. Okay, he asked that, yeah, he's online. Okay, I saw him. Okay, he's saying that what if my landlord insists on not passing the rebate to me? What can I do? Does a force majeure clause in the tenancy agreement take effect in this case or be triggered to cease rental payment?
Actually, the landlord doesn't have the right to not pass the rebate to you. So if he has any kinds of excuse, he should bring it to the valuation review panel, which is set up by the Ministry of Law also. So if he doesn't bring it to the valuation review panel, he must pass the rebate to you. If he doesn't pass the rebate to you, it's actually an offense, and if he is convicted, he could be fined up to $5,000.
Okay. Just for the record, I have unmuted Justin Lee so that either he can supplement answer or clarify the answer a bit. Justin, are you online?
Yeah, I am. Okay, actually, that question wasn't asked by me, but anyway, in addition to that, I was thinking, because I think someone else asked. So the landlord must give, but is there a time frame? So can the landlord say, okay, I pay you end of the year or after the 6 months? Can they choose to do that, or they must say what is the time frame?
That is I think one of the very good questions, because landlords can play dirty, right? But what generally happens is the landlords will get the notification of how much rebate they have gotten for the year end of May, and then by end of May they will know how much it is that they actually had to pay as the property tax, but they now don't have to. So if they get that figure, they are supposed to immediately transfer that figure over to the tenants, either by a lump sum payment or by a set-off of the lease amount or the rental that needs to be paid by the tenant, or he can allow for payments in installments. So that is some of the obligations that the landlord has. But because the COVID circuit breaker provisions actually are mostly intensively focused in April and May, it seems, unless June happens to also be circuit breaker. But for right now, I think most people are hurting in the April and May periods. It appears that the rebate should be given by June. Otherwise, it doesn't make very much sense.
Yes, correct. So what I understand as well is that in June, by end of June, the landlord should get the money. Okay, then I got a problem here because my lease with this place, the landlord, is until the mid of June. So, but the thing is, I've been with this landlord for the past 4 years, and then expiring already. So if they get the money after that, am I still eligible to claim from them, or they actually don't give me the money?
You should be entitled to that, to the rebate, because you were with him during the difficult times. So this is the difficult times, and the rebate was supposed to be for people like you.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, then sorry, Raymond. Actually, can I ask my question since it's me talking now?
Okay, if the question is short, you can just ask. What is the question?
Okay, actually, thank you, Samuel, for answering the earlier question. Okay, so actually my question was actually regarding the force majeure. Okay, so actually I have my contract with me now in front of me. So my contract states that in case the said premises or any part thereof shall at any time during this tenancy be destroyed or damaged by fire, lightning, riot, explosion, okay, that's the important part, or any other cause beyond the control of the parties hereto so as to be unfit for occupation and use or inaccessible. Okay, so for my case, I'm an entertainment sector. So in fact, I was forced to close by the government on the 27th of March. So the government mandate that entertainment cannot operate, which means I cannot operate. So using this clause, can I tell them that because I cannot operate, so and because of lockdown, I cannot go there. I cannot operate, I cannot go there, so it's inaccessible. Can I use this to fight if, okay, actually my landlord is very nice. Okay? They allow me to leave, but I think I don't know how long they can wait. You know, they have their own concerns. So in case they come down hard on me and then they don't want to leave further, can I use this against them?
You can use it. Your chances of success will be quite low, because
Okay.
this is the Propnex one I was talking about. Or it's either a Propnex agreement or someone actually used a Propnex example.
Okay.
Because it says it was inaccessible or damaged as a result of this kind of riot, commotion, that kind of stuff, fire and all these things, right? But none of it actually lists pandemics. I realize what you're saying, because it does say, or any other cause which is not through the fault of any of the parties, right? Or uncontrollable, unforeseeable.
Yes.
Yeah, but because the earlier list actually lists down quite clearly what it was that they were having in mind. When you go to court, the court will say, we must follow something called adjustum generis. That means if a class of items were listed earlier, whatever that is the bigger, the more generic kind of term that is used later is colored by the class that was recited earlier. So because it is colored, it therefore cannot be so wide as to include pandemics, because it seems like fires and riots and all those are very, very far removed from pandemics.
Okay, I understand. I have no further question. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's just go to the next question. Is by Mr. William Lim. So I'll just read his question, but at the same time, I'll also be unmuting him. Okay, he also asked the question again in the group chat, but then let me just read it for him. Okay, basically what he says is that when he has a tenant that just filed a notification for relief, he wants to ask the following question. They have outstanding rental from February and March 2020. Can they request a full payment for those months? And maybe you answer that one first. I think the answer is yes, right? I don't want to guess.
Yes, you because February and they have outstanding payments from February and March, is it?
Yes, correct. So these
So,
tenants have always had a history of not paying on time.
Yeah. What kind of business are they in?
Carpentry.
Are they an essential service?
No.
So, okay, in these kinds of situation, because the agreement was signed before March 25th, so yes, but the payment obligations arose from 1st February, right?
Yes.
Have you received a notification for relief from them?
I received it 2 days ago.
So in this case, do you agree that the non-payment is due to the COVID factors, or are they?
No, it's actually due to their own business factors, because they should have made payment for those months.
Yeah, because February and March actually, but the government actually says that the impact, the economic impact of COVID-19 was felt in Singapore from as far back as 1st February 2020. So that's what they are saying. But if you are of the opinion that they were actually doing okay February and March, then February and March should be paid. You should bring this notification for relief to the Board of Assessors and make them assess it and see whether they need to pay or not. But in the meantime, if they have asked for relief already, you really cannot do very much until you get it cleared from the Board of Assessors.
Okay.
So but you can actually take from security deposit first.
Correct.
So you can write to them and say that I want to take from your security deposit, but the moment you finish off everything, that means when this prescribed period is over, then you need to put back the security deposit.
Yeah, because actually it's a 3 years tenancy agreement. So actually they have 3 months of security deposit with me. What I was proposing for their notification of relief, they actually asked for waiver of rental for a few months, like completely no rental in their notification of relief under the term section. So of course I disagreed. I replied by email. I counter proposed something which I thought was reasonable, which was to pay 50%, and the other 50% I will have to repay 60 days after the 6 months period, and another half I will deduct from the security deposit.
Actually, think about it. You can charge interest for late payments during this period. So if you charge interest, you can take from security deposit and still charge payment, because under the agreement, the lease, it would be very, very clear that you're not supposed to take money from security deposit to pay any of the rent. So by the fact that you have done that, you can still claim interest for that month as still being late.
Okay. Okay. Just a question. So as long as they have served this notification, and I disagree, must we definitely go through the route of the assessor from the Ministry of Law? As long as I disagree with his terms.
If you disagree, you can either try to reach some kind of amicable resolution with him, but if he refuses to, because he sounds like the sort who just doesn't want to pay, right? Then if you are relegated to that, you might just have to have the Board of Assessors help you with this case.
Okay, so there's no way, once he has filed this, there's no way I can evict him if there is really a need, because he has always had very bad history of payments ever since like last year.
If you wanted to do any of those things, you must do those things only after the prescribed period, or only after the Board of Assessors has thrown away his claim.
Okay. Okay, Ken. Thank you very much.
Okay, I shall go on to the next question. But the next question is more like a statement, not a question. But anyway, I just read it. The tenant has no income, cannot pay. What can I do? I think I would assume that technically speaking, they can still evict. They can still evict the tenant, right? Sam, is it true?
You can only unless they have sent in a notification.
Oh, okay. So by default, if they didn't send in the normal law legal procedure would follow, like they can, if they didn't pay up by certain date and as per the contract, they can evict.
Yeah. Once again, the agreement must be signed before 25th of March, and the payment obligations must have arisen from 1st February onwards. Then, and it falls within the 7 scheduled contracts, then they can ask for relief.
Okay. In the case where they ask for relief, is from the impression I got from your answer, is still something they can contest, isn't it? With the Board of Assessors.
Yeah, because once again, if you were in the business of selling masks, or if you were a hospital, in this kind of situation, you're actually doing quite well. Or then in that case, if you're really doing well, then it would be unfair for you to claim relief from forfeiture when you don't need any kind of relief. And then if your landlord feels as if like, hey, it's not very fair, I don't think you're not doing well, and you cannot justify you're not doing well on the basis of COVID-19, then they can go and bring the case before the Board of Assessors.
Okay. Let me just go on to the next question now. Oh, by the way, in case I didn't emphasize earlier, the session will go on to maybe 8:30. Maybe after slightly 8:40 or something like that. That is most because it shouldn't be too long. Okay. So the question, okay. So there's another question by Jay. There's a question by Jay. So what he's asking is that if I sign an addendum to a tenancy agreement in April 2020, or making partial weekly payments, am I obliged to honor that, or can I defer all rental for 6 months?
Who is this? This is a tenant or a landlord?
His name is Jay. Let me see whether I can. Let me see whether he's online, so I can just. No, he's not online. I mean, okay, there are 2 persons coming in, but it's definitely not Jay. No. Jay is not online. But I see the key thing is that they say they signed the agreement in April. I suppose that's
they signed the agreement in April 2020.
The addendum, not a contract, but there is like an add-on. It's like an attachment to it. Addendum to it.
If the agreement was signed after 25th of March 2020, right, then they cannot ask for relief from forfeiture for that part of the agreement at least.
Okay. I don't really understand the second question, but never mind. Okay, let me just see, yeah. Okay. Sorry, Arish was saying something? Okay. So the question that were pre-submitted has all been handled. So what is left now is those questions in the group chat. Let me just mute everyone except I will just unmute Sam again. Okay, Sam is unmuted again. So let me just see. Your question is next. What a question. I think Rosie has a question. He said my property tax at 30% rebate only works for $700 per annum. I have 4 tenants co-sharing with me in the office. If I calculate backwards, this tenant will only get $700 divided by 5. Is that how I calculate the rental relief? I will guess I try to unmute her first. Hey, Rosie, do you want to explain further your question? Rosie?
Yeah, hello.
Hello,
Hi.
Rosie.
Yeah, okay. The thing is, because I am not, I am having an office in a commercial property. So I believe my property rebate is only 30%. So my annual property tax is about 2,000 plus. And if I calculate backwards 30%, I only get a relief of about $700 plus. So the thing is, how do I extend this rebate to my 4 tenants?
You have to divide it equally between them.
Sorry?
You can divide it equally between them, I guess.
Which is not much, right? In 700,
Yeah.
I mean, that works out to only about definitely less than $200. But
it would also mean that actually the rental cannot be that high, right? The rental is not high, right?
The rental is not, yeah, it's $1,000.
Yeah, so the rental is $1,000. Actually, if you divided your rebate of let's say $800 by 5, you would have given them about 20% rebate.
Right, correct. But that's only for, I mean, if I want to take it by month, if I divide by 12 months, that is really nothing. You that's what I mean? Like
Yeah, but you're
$12,
supposed to give them the rebate in full, and then that rebate that you give in full would generally, even for normal people, right, where it's 100%, it would also be able to cover them only for a month or a month and a bit more. So it's not meant to be like a rebate for a very, very long time. It's meant to tide them through a month or a bit more.
Yep. So if in that case, maybe if I can take it for a quarter, for example. But really,
Yeah.
it's really not that much. So when tenant come to me and say they cannot pay, so that's very, very, very difficult.
Yeah, when the tenant cannot pay, once again, the property is divided, is it, into 5?
Yeah, correct.
So when the tenant cannot pay, you have to decide whether you want to give any rebates over and above what the government gives you.
Which I really done.
Yeah, but
Which
if they still cannot, and if they are affected so adversely by COVID, then you can give them more time to pay. Maybe you charge them a bit lower. You can reach some kind of negotiation with them as to what they can pay now and what they should pay later. Otherwise, if there's security deposit, you can also take it from there.
Yep. If let's say they decide to leave, they want to, what do you call that? One of the tenants decide to just terminate the tenancy agreement. How does that work?
You must agree. Otherwise, if you don't agree, then they cannot just terminate the tenancy agreement. The general principle in relation to someone who signed a term lease is that they must pay for the full term of the lease.
Right.
So even if they want to leave, they have to pay the full term, subject to your ability to find someone to take their place. So if you find someone, let's say they leave in June, and then you don't find someone until December, and you've used good efforts to try to find someone, but you haven't found anyone until December, then they should still pay you the price for June to December.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Rosie. Okay, I will just mute you first, Okay, so now we look at the question, but I feel that his question is probably repeat of what I say. But anyway, in any case, I will just unmute his first. He's quite long. Maybe I just unmute so that he can just ask you in person. Oh, Wei-Long, can you hear me now? You are unmuted. Maybe you can just phrase your questions. Hello, Wei-Long, are you here? Wei-Long? Hello? William, are you here? Okay, let me just read his, I will just describe his basic question. It's basically saying, okay, long story short, it's basically something like there's a tenant who has not been paying rent from when? From April and May 2020 until today.
We're still in May.
Yeah, we're still in May. I don't know, because I don't think you are still up for payment of, and he's not here to explain himself, so I don't know. He's asking.
No, but because May rental maybe was due 1st of May.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it seems like the tenant is unreasonable. If not granted, they threaten to terminate the tenancy agreement and request for refund. I mean,
Wei Leong is here, he says.
Yeah. So why can't you stop? Wait. Can you speak? I'm mute you, no? William, are you here? Can you speak? No, I cannot hear. Nobody can hear. Nobody can hear you. Nobody can hear. No. Let me just repeat the question to the best of my knowledge. Okay, so long story short, I think he's asking for rental waiver, and they have not received the notice for relief. There was nothing official. Wait.
Wei Leong is a landlord, he says.
Yeah, I guess so, from the impression, yeah. But I couldn't hear. Okay, long story short, I guess this tenant seems to be unreasonable. I think contractually there's nothing. If I were the landlord, I would not let him go. I would not let him go away. Okay, so let me see. Say you asking what the.
Hello.
Yeah, we long. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, can you hear?
Yeah.
Hello.
Now can.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So basically, as a landlord.
Yeah. And then.
So because the tenant is in entertainment outlet, so the government has already imposed that that no entertainment outlets can be open since March 28, 27. And looking at the whole situation, it might actually go beyond 1st of June. When the circuit breaker is already over and everything, and probably the whole entertainment outlet and everything will not be able to resume normal business as it is until further notice. So this might prolong a little bit longer. So now even at this point of time, the tenant has not been paying for since April. And also now it's in May, so they have not paid as well, and they have asked for a full 6 months of rental waiver. Yeah.
Okay. One thing is the relief, right, that they seek is, of course, they would ask for waiver, but actually you are not actually obliged to give waivers, except for those that are because you are transferring the rebates to them. Otherwise, what the Act actually does is to suspend their payment obligations. So it suspends it until the end of the relevant period. So it's not a waiver, it's merely a suspension until this timing is over, the 6 month period or longer later. But the 6 month period, after the 6 months, they will have to pay everything.
So even now, if let's say the tenant, in the way that they felt that the business is not coming back, and probably they will threaten to terminate the lease and been requested for a refund of the deposit, is that something that is admissible under the law?
You will have to take a look at your tenancy agreement and see whether it has been frustrated or whether the force majeure obligations within the agreement actually oblige you to actually say, okay, I let you go. But I highly doubt that there are tenancy agreements like this, but you always go back to the tenancy agreement as the first point of consideration. So go and see your tenancy agreement and see whether it's something that what they're asking for is actually legal. Because if it's not, then you don't have to entertain it.
Okay, so basically this tenant has been already rented for 2 years, right? And they have actually renewed it prior to all this pandemic issue, and they still have about a full 2 years of tenancy. So I believe that that's not actually under the frustrated kind of contract, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be. Are they a private limited?
Yes, they are. But the problem is that when I found that, like, when you go to ACRA, the paid-up capital for the company is actually is only 20,000. So in terms of the size of the company and the paid-up capital and the liability of a company of a 20,000 paid-up capital, quite low lah in that sense. Is there anything that, for example, you say that even though they have 2 years of tenancy to fulfill moving forward, but they have to pay basically all the 2 years of rental. In terms of that, right, actually that exceeds the whole paid-up capital in terms of private limited companies' liability.
But you do understand that the whole notion of a paid-up capital is not very relevant in determining whether the company is doing well or not doing well. Because paid-up capital really just means that at some point of time they had that amount of money in the bank account, or someone brought in IP, or someone brought in cash. You know, it can be many ways where paid-up capital can be beefed up. But even if you have very high paid-up capital, companies like Hyflux come to mind, you can still get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I understand. Even, for example, if they were to terminate the whole thing and they are liable, for example, 100,000 kind of rental payable for years, right? But the paid-up capital is only 20,000. So I understand that basically the obligation of the director itself is really only 20,000.
No, okay. Basically, directors and shareholders are never personally liable for any debts and obligations of the company. If it's a private limited company, the private limited company is the entity that owes you money, unless there was some kind of personal guarantee. So you have to measure this a bit carefully, because if they don't do well and if they go bust, then everyone suffers, right? So I think you need to have a good conversation with them and find out exactly what they are going through and how you all can go through this together. Because otherwise, if you leave, then if you want to sue them for the whole tenancy period, you can sue them. But if they can't pay it and just go bust, then there's very little you can do.
Okay. So in that case, even they have the notification of relief doesn't, not necessarily have to come from the Ministry of Law, right? It can be in form of emails, letters, everything.
It should come from the electronic system.
Electronic can be in emails, letter, and WhatsApp and everything. Because I do all this communication through the agents as the intermediary person who actually present me, instead of I go through directly to the tenant to negotiate.
I think you need to take a look at it and see whether because for it to constitute a valid kind of notification, right, it needs to comply with a few standards, right? So whether it has complied will be something that you consider to see whether it's an effective notification. You can contact me after this, then I will give you some more details as to what is required. If you could give me, if I can have some sight of that document and tell you whether it's valid or not.
Okay.
Okay, guys, I think we are the last part of the Q&A. Let's just, because there are some questions which are, in my view, there are some repeated, except for this question by K, which is, it's a short question and short answer also. Then what he's asking is whether the property tax rebate can it be given in monthly installment to the tenants?
Can. So there are three ways they can use it. One, they can give it as a lump sum straight to the tenant. Secondly, they can use it to offset. They use it to offset the tenancy, which is what most people do. And then thirdly, they can give it in they can give it as an incentive for different installments within the term.
Okay. So that's a short question.
I just want to clarify that the income tax rebate is not money that they receive from the government, It's just money that they don't have to pay the government, because otherwise they have to pay the income tax anyway.
Oh, that is actually not my understanding. I thought it's actually money the IRS.
No, it's just that you don't have to pay your property tax for the year.
Okay. So technically speaking, they don't have to wait for June, isn't it?
Correct. It's just that because by the end of May, then they know how much the property tax is supposed to be and how much. And
also,
how
they will
much,
know the amount. Okay, they will know the
yes.
amount. Okay.
Yes.
So let me just go on. Okay, let me see. Okay, this question by Anthony, I think is just a repetition of what earlier one is. Basically, the tenant don't refuse to pay rent and all this thing. I suppose there's nothing much. Basically, contractually, you're supposed to do it now. So I just summarize this one. I think the answer is quite similar. Okay. I guess Derek E is asking a question probably was answered before. He said basically what he's asking is that if the tenant business is doing well, are they qualified to ask for property tax relief? Wait, I think the question, what is
you keep saying you're doing well during this period, right? So if your landlord listens in, and then if you apply for notification for relief, your landlord can say, oh, but he's doing well. So then I will bring it to the board of assessors and I'll give evidence that they're still doing well. Then why are they claiming for relief?
Oh, okay. But the property tax rebate is not, it doesn't matter whether you're doing well or not doing well, they will just give you.
Correct. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the notification for relief which matters.
Okay. Can. So let me just go on. Okay. This is something different because it's nothing to do with property. Okay. This is by this Andy Wedding. I suppose he's doing wedding business. Okay, this one I shall read full because finally we see some question that's different, not property related. How about clients want to cancel the wedding event and want a full refund of deposit? We have running costs to run a company, not only for the event date, but they have filed for relief from Ministry of Law. What if the Ministry of Law agree on the refund?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Okay. I think to paraphrase, I think they are doing a wedding event business. So long story short, their clients, who is probably a couple, wants to ask for the refund of the deposit for that specific event, which is a wedding event. I think long story short, he's asking whether does he need to refund or does he not need to refund. Let me see whether he's online. I will just see whether I will just. Oh, he's online. Let me just mute him. Andy, I'll unmute you. Hello, Andy.
Hi.
Yeah. Hello. Oh, you pull out your mic only now. Okay. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Basically, I want to ask. Basically, that all my customer, which they want for refund because I'm doing wedding event. So basically, they have paid some deposit, and they thought that we have not done anything yet. But like you said, there's our manpower costing to be paid, like our account manager to handle the file, and our finance to handle the payment. So they don't see that way that their deposit is not been used yet. So yeah, so that's my question.
I think the notification for relief, right, should be used as a shield and not a sword. So they cannot use it to say, I want to terminate the agreement and therefore you need to return my security deposit to me. I don't think that's the correct use of the notification. The notification should be only used when you are trying to sue them or you are chasing them for like further payment. And then they use it to say, oh, I'm looking for notification for relief because I'm part of the contract. So because your events are actually part of the 7 types of contracts, right?
Yes.
So you are part of the contracts. The agreement must have been signed before March, and the payment obligations must have come up from 1st February. So it's not for them now actually to apply for relief by saying they want to terminate the agreement. I assume that your agreement with them is quite good, right? So if you have a rather good agreement with them, and then if they want to back out of it now, they must back out of it using the terms of the agreement. But if the terms of the agreement don't allow them to do so, and security deposits usually are not refundable. So, and because you would have started making preparatory steps and hiring people and all that, as you have said earlier, then in that case, you can justify not paying them their security deposits back. You might want to approach your customers now and say that, would you like to delay everything till after the circuit breaker. I think that should be something that you should be considering doing, because otherwise people will take the opportunity to try to terminate. But they cannot use the relief or forfeiture for that.
Okay, but actually they have signed up the relief to Ministry of Law. My first video conference is on the 14th May.
Which is very soon.
Yeah, 3 more days. So I got a question. What the Ministry of Law, I said, they said, okay, we need to refund. Then there's a bit of all the wedding refund all them. Can you hear me?
No.
Okay, hold on. Okay, sorry. Okay, because I'm quite afraid, because let's say that one case Ministry of Law agree that we need to refund them. So once it's agreed, then all my customer will ask for refund. That's my main worry. So
I don't think the Ministry of Law will go so far, because I think they are only doing this because someone has filed a complaint, right? Or someone has filed for relief, right? So I think it's just something that they're following through. But actually, I don't think relief would entitle them to use the relief as a sort. It's only looking for relief, They are not supposed to be able to terminate contracts and all that. I don't think that's what the Act is supposed to allow them to do.
Okay, understand. Thank you for your response. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Raymond.
Yes. Okay, anyway, I think we have reached the last question. But anyway, let me just summarize. Let me just conclude things very properly. Let me see. Okay, the thing is that, okay, again, I would like to end off by always, okay. Anyway, again, maybe let me go back to the first page. I just want to ensure that the QR code is there. so the thing is that, okay, so this is one of our events that we are trying out. How we are doing on Zoom, as well as projecting the Zoom event online on Facebook. I want to see how this turns out as an event, whether this one will be a model for fundraising in the future. Because nowadays, without requiring the need of a television network, we can already have something similar on the Facebook that allows us to collect money and things like that. So the thing is that, while in the meantime, oh, wait, you all cannot see the QR code. Hold on. Oh, wrong screen. I got 3 screens in front of me. Sorry. I got 2 minutes too. Let's stop 2. Nope. No. Not desktop 2. Okay, so here the QR code. Okay, so before I end off, I will just conclude a few things. Like I was saying, that this is some experiment I'm doing. I see whether this one works out as a model. Okay, I will mute everyone because Iris is telling me to everybody that's not mute background sound. Maybe except for Sam, I will just mute Sam manually. Yeah, I just unmuted Sam. Okay. In any case, like I was saying, I am experimenting whether this model of fundraising would be good for the non-profit, and let's see how things turn out. Because other than the fund actually raised during this, we are going to put this video up into a specific website. Then, of course, thereafter, when people want to refer to this video, they can just refer to this video, and of course, they can. If they choose to donate after the offline event, they can. Okay. So let me see. What else do I have? Of course, before we end off this evening, I would like to extend a thank to Mr. Sam Seow. Okay, I will unmute everyone so you all clap. You all remember to clap. Unmute. I give you 5 seconds to clap. Unmute. I unmute now. I unmute. Okay. Unmute. People are not used to this social process. I tell you, okay, that's because okay, we are still not very used to this Zoom event. I tell you, in a normal event like this, of course, I will ask someone to bring a flower to Sam Seow to really thank him. But I think we cannot send any virtual flower off Zoom. But in any case, we are very okay. Let me see. Okay, can all of you? Okay, all of you, can you? Okay, I will stop sharing for a moment. Can all of you show your face? So I can take a good photo. Come on, you show your face. Show your face. Hey, Robert, long time no see, man. Okay, okay. Come, how about the rest? Hey, Berlin. Okay. Hello, everyone. Come, hey. Oh, Don. Oh, Don is our staff. Good, man. Hey, about the rest? Waiho, William. Too shy. Okay, let me see. Is there only one screen? I got two. Got two screens. Hey, also face. Come. Daniel Ho. Daniel, lie. Lie, don't be shy. Okay, lie. Okay. So anyway, well, that's it. I think thanks to Sam to spending his time to share this. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to contact Sam for any follow-up legal service, it's not free. Don't ask him for free thing all the time. Okay, the thing is that we will ask him for follow-up service, discuss the fee with him, and I hope you all get your problem resolved now. So I guess, you know, in my earlier years, I always feel that lawyers are very expensive. But now, you ask me, I find that not having a lawyer even more expensive. All the trouble I go under, not having a lawyer more expensive. So you all better spend some money so that your business, your operating cost lesser. So thank you, Sam. Anything to say before end of the evening?
No, thank you so much. I've appreciated speaking with everyone in the group.
Thank you. Okay, so in any case, I'll be putting up this video for some other people to see also. So good night, everyone. Good night. Bye-bye. Bye, Perry. Bye, Dawn. Bye, everyone.